Good afternoon, everybody, or good day, whenever you may be watching. This is a very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools, and as school starts to get back in, it's not a normal by any normalcy by any stretch of the imagination, but virtual school is on the way. I'm happy to talk with Mr. Kevin Dukes, who is the superintendent of Jackson County Schools. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having us, and let us talk about what's going on a little bit.
Yeah, and I said we got an hour. It may take us longer than that. This is, I know, uncharted territory for really everybody.
It is, and our number one concern in Jackson County Schools is the safety and well-being of our students and employees. And so that's kind of our philosophy throughout this process. And so with that in mind, we're trying to keep it simple as we can.
What does simple look like for the remainder of the school year as far as academics and virtual home learning and that type of thing?
Okay, let me go back a little bit. Right before this started up, we got myself and the supervisors on Thursday, before everything really hit on Friday, and then the following Tuesday was our last day of school. Myself and the supervisors, we met. We came up with a plan, a 2-week plan. We didn't know how long it would be, and we met with the principals that same afternoon. We worked on it, came in that morning and said, hey, we've got to come up with something. Then we met with the principals that afternoon, and as long as we could get to school that Friday, we felt like we were in good shape. Well, we got to come to school that Friday, and the principals got to get their plans to their students. So we were prepared for 2 weeks worth of work, being graded, this, that, and the other. At that time, the State Department of Education came out, and it could only be enrichment at that time, enrichment work. It couldn't be graded, but we were ahead of the game. And luckily, Jackson County Schools this year went to 1-to-1. Each student had a Chromebook, so anything lower than a 7th grade, we didn't send. So in this plan with 2 weeks, so we put the Chromebooks. We hadn't actually sent them home with kids yet, because this is our first year with students yet. We did send them home on that Friday, I believe it was Friday or Monday. We sent them home with most of the 7th through 12th graders. We thought K through 6, we didn't want to send them home because we didn't know how long they would have them or whatever. So a lot of our kids that needed the devices got a device, okay? So that helped us to get rolling. Then the State Department came out with different options we could choose for a plan, and then we had to submit it, and then it had to be approved by the state superintendent and sent back to us. So basically our plan is we will be using some digital and then some paper. So the students that do not have access to some type of device, their teachers are trying to get in touch with them, and they will mail them some packets. A little about the packets. We've got professional learning communities, and we've had these throughout this school year. So your kindergarten teachers throughout the system are working together virtually. Your first graders teachers are working virtually. And so they're going to come up with a packet. Kindergarten teachers for kindergarten. It's going to be a common packet. It doesn't matter what school, that packet will be the same. It'll be available digitally online, or if a student can't get it, we'll get them a hard copy through the mail or some other way. But it's been tough, but we're very blessed in Jackson County. Our IT guys are ahead of the game on this. Our supervisors, our principals, and our folks, our teachers, our parents, our students, they're just being so creative in the things that they're doing and the way they're handling it. One of the things I said in the beginning is, we don't have time for anything anymore. We're always in a rush. Mm-hmm. And this is giving us time to slow down and live like people did in the past. And so I feel that's important. But while we're doing that, it's just amazing seeing how these people are treating it and how they're coming up with some of the things they're coming up with. And it's amazing. And I'm blessed to do what I do, and I'm blessed to live in Jackson County, and we've got great folks.
Well, I'm hearing just great reports everywhere. I mean, it's not an Alabama thing or a Georgia thing or a Tennessee thing, or it's really a nation thing that all of the schools are having to kind of probably be forced to move quickly ahead to what was coming anyway. I mean, a lot of your colleges are already doing online, and a lot of your tech schools, after you get out of school, I mean, you take your classes online and different type of things. So this is just kind of getting the high schoolers, especially those folks, kind of acclimated to what the next level of education is going to be. And I can just see this as something that this won't be the last time that y'all do this. Not necessarily in this way, but to have the technology. So if you have a 4-day snow, it's not going to be as big as it once was.
Exactly. And in seeing today, we had I had a meeting with the principals only, a short meeting. Sunday, I had a meeting with all the supervisors and principals. And, you can call a meeting, and 30 minutes later, there you've got every one of them on a computer screen, and we can interact and talk with each other. And it's something that we've had the capabilities of for a while. We're just kind of nervous to go ahead and do it. But like I said, our IT guys are ahead of the game, and we are prepared for it, and it's great. It's been very helpful.
So the parents, basically, you're going to walk them through the steps, especially for the younger grades, and even in high school. So everybody's going to know, basically, and everything will be online. Or if they don't have a way to get online, you're going to be able to mail that packet of information to them.
So our teachers, that first week, we've told our teachers to contact all of your students. I want weekly call, check in on the well-being of your students, check on their well-being, see if they're hungry, see if they've got food. We did have a common feeding site out of Dutton School, and we were taking the food where it was needed, and we've had other places throughout the county that have volunteered, churches or Mark Dover's place in Stevenson he's got 2 or 3 spots that they're feeding the kids in that area. Section Pharmacy's done, several folks and churches have done things like that. But with the stay-at-home order, we felt we needed to shut that down for the safety of our employees at this time. So that stopped on Friday. And so now we still want our teachers, as they're checking on their students, see if these students are hungry, because some of their parents are still having to work and this, that, and the other, and some food's tough to come by. So the key, again, is the safety and well-being of our students and our employees, and that's just kind of what we're focusing on as we move forward.
When do you plan to put all this in motion?
So it's already actually in motion, and each school, rather than myself doing an all-call, I've met with the principals, and I've told the principals to do an all-call, because like what we've got with seniors, if seniors are if their coursework is completed and they're passing, they're done. We're going ahead and graduating them. And that's the ones that breaks your heart for. I mean, the end of their school year just gets yanked out from under them. I've got a senior at home. It's heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. When we were watching the governor and the state superintendent's press conference, and she tears up and said it's over. I mean, that's tough.
It is.
And so my heart breaks for these seniors. But the thing is, we're going to have them a graduation. I don't know when it'll be, but we're going to have senior graduations, high school graduations, because I think that is very important.
Yeah, I definitely think you're exactly right. And I've met and talked with several superintendents like yourself, and they're all bound to determine in some way, some fashion, we're going to have a graduation for these seniors. We don't know exactly when, we don't know what it looks like, but there's going to be one. So, I mean, I think you're in great company in thinking that with all the others. So your teachers are going to go back to school too.
So when I met with the principals, and like I said, the principals are relaying the plan to their teachers. The teachers are supposed to work with their principal on when they come in and out of the schools, this, that, and other, and work on the schedule. So each principal is responsible for their school. Now, our key is to be flexible. We don't want to break any guidelines, any health things that we shouldn't do. So the principal may have their teachers spread out coming in every 2 hours. They're disinfecting, they're sanitizing, things like that. So the principal's getting it out. The teachers have already been in touch with the students, and they're still, if there's one or two, I talked to a principal today. He said that they're struggling to get in touch with 2 students. So we're going to get in touch with those 2 students, even if we have to make a home visit to find out how they are. But that way we're getting the plan out, and each school is being able to be flexible. Now our doors are locked. Our school doors are locked. Our central office is locked. Most of them have people there, but we're not allowing visitors in. I mean, if we need you, we'll call you and we'll meet you outside. If you need us, call us, email us. We'll meet you there, but we're not going to let you in the building. We'll meet you outside and handle business that way. But again, the principal's giving the plan to the teachers. The teachers are letting them know. So the professional learning communities that I talked about earlier, they're working on those packets. Those packets will be available Monday of next week to the students. Again, online, if they need them a hard copy. We're not printing a hard copy for everybody. Again, our seniors, if they're up to date, if they're passing and they've got everything, they're finished. They're
good
through.
to go.
They've been through enough. So what we're doing is we're taking, so that Thursday when we got out on Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, that Thursday was when the third 9 weeks report card was supposed to go home. So what we've decided to do in Jackson County is for the 4th 9 weeks grade, we're taking the highest of the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd 9 weeks and using that as their 4th 9 weeks grade. Again, it's not fair to them, and that kind of gives them an opportunity to get a little jump, to help them a little bit. And then what we're doing with our packets, and I talked to the principals about today, is we will add 3 points to their final grade once these are complete.
Oh,
and that way, it's not advancing someone too much.
right.
That's kind of a real. We've already gave them a little bump by doing that with their 4th 9 weeks grade. Right. Adding no more than 3 points to their average is to their final grade. That kind of gives us a norm of where they truly were for the most part.
Right.
And so that we felt was fair. We feel that's simple, and it doesn't allow a kid that's got a 75 to jump up to a 90 because they shouldn't be able to. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But if a student's got a 78, they can get an 80.
The school calendar that's still in place. So, for moms and dads and whoever the caregiver is for the kids at home, if we come up on an in-service day, school will be out, correct?
Correct.
And so the calendar really stays intact as far as learning.
So the calendar is intact. So our packets that I keep referring to packets, which is our work, it's going to go out April the 13th, which is next Monday. It's going to be due May the 8th. The grades are due from the teachers May the 15th. Now, our drop dead last day of school regularly was May 22nd. That's when we want to have everything wrapped up May the 22nd. So that's why we've got it laid out like it's the remainder of the school year. And the way the stay-at-home order is now, it goes through April 30th. Right. If the governor for some reason drops that, it'll change the work hours of employees for the month of May. So
even if things improve to the point that the 2nd or 3rd week of May, because she's already got school out for the remainder of the year, there is no chance of going back physically.
No chance this school year.
But the virtual learning and the online and at home learning will go through until whatever the last day of school was.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
All right. So if you got a schedule calendar and you said, well, okay, they got out May
22nd.
That's the last day of school for Jackson County.
Yes, sir.
Still is the last day. And that brings some kind of normalcy. If you got a schedule at home, you can kind of say, okay, if there's an in-service or a 3-day weekend, I don't know what's on the calendar, but they can just go by that and schedule their plans. So that's good. Because the parents, they're kind of up in the air too. A lot of them are still working.
And a lot are not.
Right. And they're trying to figure this out as well, all the kids. I think you've done a great job of putting the plan together, and I know that the kids will rise up to it. They'll amaze you.
The folks have already been amazing, and like I said, from the students to the parents to the teachers to the faculty members, the principals, supervisors, it's just it's amazing. It's like I felt like that we were prepared for it. We didn't know it was going to come like this, but looking back, we were prepared for it. We were a little bit ahead of the game, in my opinion.
Well, I think that's a testament to the entire school system, and to like I said, I think we were all knowing that at some point in time it was whether you did one class at home or people are already doing their homework virtually anyway, and I don't know if y'all had anything like a Google Classroom where they uploaded their
that's
work
what
and stuff.
we've got a lot of Google Classrooms, and our virtual meetings are Google Meet. And so a lot of people, the teachers are doing Google Classrooms. Some of them are doing Google Meets with their students. So that's what we're working with in Jackson County Schools.
The new things that I didn't even know there was a such thing as a Zoom, but I hear everybody's meeting in Zoom or what. There's so many different names for the technologies that's out there.
And as far as technology, there's a lot of folks. Jackson County's a rural area. There's a lot of folks that don't have Wi-Fi. So our IT department and Derek Wright has turned on the Wi-Fi at all the schools, and it'll reach pretty much out in the parking lot. Now, North Alabama Electric Co-op,
they have stepped up.
They have stepped up, and they have partnered with us, and they've put internet at North Jackson School, Bridgeport Middle School, Stevenson Middle School, Hollywood School, Skyline School, Woodville School, and Paint Rock Valley School, and it's stronger than our school Wi-Fi. Then FTC has put in communities. They put it North Side Mountain and they put it at North Side Mountain School. They put some at Flat Rock Community Center, at Section Pharmacy, and it seems like there may be one other place that they've put it, maybe at Pisgah Town Hall. But between our IT guys, between North Alabama Electric Co-op stepping up and partnering with us, and FTC taking care of their folks, I mean, we've really been fortunate there. It's been good for our folks.
Well, I think it's great. Everybody's working together, and as far as our age, we've never seen anything like this.
No, sir.
I mean, and I hope that we never have to go through this again.
I agree.
But I know that it's been a learning curve for a lot of folks. Now, I want to bring you back towards the end of the program, but you've got a couple of people you want to. One that's no stranger, has been on this program before, stepping into a different role. Then you've also got a new person that you want to introduce. So
that is correct.
Is there anything else that you can think of right now that obviously we'll have another segment at the end of the program to talk about it. But is there anything that that you want to get out to the folks?
Folks just need to be patient and know that if they need to contact someone at the school, email, call, leave a message at the school, because their teachers, their students' teachers are answering their emails and they're checking their emails on a regular basis. And so in each school, we'll have their hours listed a little different because different principals are going to go in at different times where the principal would be available to meet them out front. But be patient. If you need to get in touch with somebody, email or call, and somebody's going to get back with you. Let
me ask you one more thing before we go to the break. As you noticed before we came on here, and depending on when you're watching this or on demand, we were playing, I think, a Pisgah and Woodville boys basketball game, and we'll continue to air those over the next couple of weeks, all the different tournaments that we were able to capture in February when the world was normal. Sports. Talk a little bit about the. I know they're suspended. You got spring football. You got a lot of things, and I know there's probably people. Where do we fit in? Where's that in limbo at?
So right now, athletics is completely off. I mean, that comes from the Alabama High School Athletic Association, the state superintendent, and we're not sure when that'll pick back up right now. But I saw on a news channel last night where North Jackson's football team's finding creative ways to do workouts at home. I mean, they had their book bags with books in it, working on their own at their own as weights at their own house to get it done. And that's the way athletes are going to have to do during this time, is find ways to work hard, but they're going to be on their own or with another family member or something else. But it is sad for these seniors that this was their last season. I mean, we had some we had some sports teams this spring that had the potential to make some noise in the state playoffs, if not win this thing. And so you hate it for the students, you hate it for the players, their coaches, their families, that's what they've done. But again, we'll get through this. But right now, no athletics.
We're talking, of course, a very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools during the COVID-19 epidemic. It's a shelter at home, basically for all three states that we cover, in Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. As we continue to work through this, talk a little bit about what's happening with education in Jackson County and the state of Alabama. So we're going to take our first break, and we'll come back. Got somebody that is going to be moving one school into a different area. They're going to introduce you to a brand new principal. Stay with us on this very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools.
At Easter, all around the world, people pause to ponder the words and works of Jesus Christ. Some say he was a great prophet, but he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except by me." And at Easter 2020, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
From the board of directors and all the employees at all three of the branches of Citizens Bank and Trust, Trenton, Lookout Mountain, and Higdon. Happy Easter, everyone.
It's never a good idea for a lawyer to view the evidence of a case through the lens of another person. That's why at the Bandy Firm, we never send investigators or staff to go meet with critical witnesses, investigate the scene, or to inspect important evidence. At the Bandy Firm, Sean Richardson or Marshall Bandy personally meet with witnesses and personally investigate all possible evidence. With 65 years of combined trial experience, trial lawyers Sean Richardson and Marshall Bandy will be with you every step of the way. If you have been injured due to the negligence of another, call the Bandy Firm today. They will be with you every step of the way. The Bandy Firm, 706-935-STEP, or on the web at bandylaw.com. The Bandy Firm, every step of the way. Call 706-935-STEP. That's 706-935-7837.
Gigabit Internet residential service is now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber in Jackson and Marshall County. Residential gig service is now available for only $79.95. Call today to have your gig service installed at 256-437-5000. High-speed fiber residential gig internet service now available to customers of the North Alabama Electric Co-op with NAEC Fiber. Business and commercial customers can get gig service too. Call for pricing 256-437-5000. Gig service from North Alabama Electric Co-op. 256-437-5000.
Come hungry and leave satisfied at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon. Cloud's Pizza uses only the freshest ingredients, and we hand toss our own pizza dough. Our pizzas are made from scratch when you order, so they're always fresh. And don't forget about our famous Sand Mountain cheese sticks. You can eat from the daily buffet or try a mouth-watering hamburger or cheeseburger. Come see your friends at Cloud's Pizza, Highway 71 in Higdon, and never leave hungry. Call ahead at 597-3100 for Cloud's Pizza. Visit us on Facebook at Cloud's Pizza and more.
Come see us at Cloud's Pizza.
And I know some of you won't know what we're talking about, but those of you that are watching live when we're recording this show or showing it the first time, that Cloud's Pizza sure did look good.
It is very tasty. I love cheese sticks from Cloud's.
Oh, it's homemade, and they just an awesome job. And they're open during this time to be able to do takeout and carry out. You call ahead, and they'll get it all ready.
You can take home a kit. They've got a little kit in the box with all the ingredients for the cheese sticks. My kids actually wanted to do that one day since we've been out.
That's cool.
We did that, and it almost tastes the same.
Well, you haven't got that big pizza oven that they run it through. But, introduce yourself, and then we're going to tell everybody where you've been and where you're going.
My name's Jason Davidson. I'm a Jackson County resident. I've been principal at Skyline up until last Monday. Last Monday was officially our first day to transition. If we would have been on a normal schedule, Mr. McNutt and myself would have been at a new location when we came back from spring break. So I've sort of transitioned to the Career Tech Center, Epcot in Hollywood, and we've got an expansion program that we're moving into in the future to look at ways to bring different programs and innovation into the county. And I'm just here to talk about some of the things we've been doing.
Well, very good. So, is your title principal over at Epcot?
Principal of Epcot.
Okay.
And still, focused on career tech education.
Well, it's I can remember. This is going to show how old that I am. I can remember folks riding the bus from North Sand Mountain down to what they called tech school
Yes.
back then.
Still do that.
And I know y'all still bus everybody in from the outlying schools, but it's been there for, well, this would have been a long. I'll be 56, so that tells you how long it's been there for sure. But y'all do a remarkable job to having one big facility instead of trying to have the different type of classes at every high school,
Right.
or every middle school.
That's the purpose of Career Tech anywhere you go across the state, is to have collaboration, to be able to have a program like welding or healthcare for all the students of the county to be able to have access to those programs. And Mr. Dukes mentions that Jackson County is a very large geographic county, and we do have to depend on busing students to that centralized location. But also another thing that our county has is we have units there in these schools, and you have to cover your basic programs like math, science, English, and history. But you also want to be able to offer programs not only on a career tech side, but also on a level of, if you wanted to, let's say, have a program to where you have a class that's not offered at any one of those locations, but you want to bring in an additional class or program that you don't currently have at any location. A place like this, a centralized location, if you bring a teacher or a program into that location and you allow students from all of our county schools to have access, equitable access to go there, then you're going to make your program more successful. You're going to make your county stronger by having a program that is centralized for them to be able to go to and take part in.
How many different and how many different classes do you offer there?
I think currently we have about 11 programs.
11 different. Now this is also going to date me to the point back. It's a whole lot more in shop.
It's a lot more than shop. That's correct. But you look right now what's going on across the United States, across the world. Where are the demands? Who's actually out there still today? Essential services working. It's things like building face masks and ventilators, things that we have to have that we've gotten really dependent on somebody else doing those things for us. And I think that may have been something that we've looked at as education too. We've outsourced a lot of things, and we think that we're a service-only nation. And our backbone is in industry, working with our hands, working with skills. Those skills are going to be where the demand for jobs for the next up 10 years are going to be. The generation of my children and your children and your grandkids and my grandkids, we're going to have to go back and look at how do we make our society, our careers, how do we prepare those kids? Because we're not all college bound. We're not all going to work from home, which, we've really had to look at that. And teachers have had to become at-home workers right now. And I think after this epidemic is gone, we're going to see a lot of companies out there that are going to look at ways to save money by bringing things home. But we've also got to turn around and look, how do we have factory and hands-on learning type jobs to where you have to assemble and produce a product like we haven't had to do in the last 20 or 30 years.
Well, this will be a difficult time for the tech school to be able to ramp up to digital learning. I would imagine it's going to be difficult this year for the remainder of the year.
Yes, but then again, you would be surprised. I've had the first faculty meeting that I had with my faculty last week was on Google Meet. And every one of my shop teachers and teachers there, they were online. And a lot of them had already been communicating because they had things set up to communicate. It's all about communication with students. These teachers have been able to communicate because these students are coming from different schools. They've looked at ways to communicate via email and apps long before this. So they actually have been communicating, and they are doing things a lot more digitally than you would probably be surprised to hear.
Well, that's good. So you said 11 or 12 different?
Well, I ran 11 programs.
11. What are some of those?
Just welding, construction, diesel mechanics, collision repair, drafting and design, precision machining, healthcare. And my building has got 2 teachers in it, electrical, cosmetology, HVAC. I probably have missed one along the way, but I wasn't keeping account, but somewhere around the
and
10,
I think you
mark.
just hit on just about everybody, you was talking about the people that are working what they call essential businesses, and I know in the industrial parks and just about all the industrial parks are essential, and they're still working because, they make like we here in Trenton, we've got a manufacturer of transfer trailers, Vanguard. Well, they're all working because they're in the transportation industry. We've got one company that makes automobile parts. They're all working because they're essential because they're in the automobile industry. Right. We've got a couple of different major companies that are in the medical field. They build tubing and different things. Well, they're all working because we have to keep manufacturing medical supplies. So your industry is probably going to be more of a focus going forward because all of those things that you just talked about are really deemed essential.
Right. And how do you incorporate things like 3D printing into manufacturing? So you're taking something that is viewed as maybe a math or science academic point of view right now. We all think about 3D printers in the classroom. But how do you get the design and the instruction of how to use a 3D printer into a laboratory or a production environment to be able to mass produce something quickly? I mean, I know there's been several companies and universities across the nation that have turned, like Auburn, for example, we're turning ways to do a nebulizer that you sleep in at night for sleep apnea into something that could be used for a ventilator. It takes design, it takes crafting, engineering, and also the industrial manufacturing side of that.
Well, I think that they're going to be coming back if virtually for the remainder of the school year, and then getting into this next school year. I'm going to be excited about you being here. Obviously, you've been in the Jackson County school system for a long time.
This is my 16th year.
Wow! And coming from a high school to you will basically see a lot of your former students and a lot more.
Exactly. And really and truly, it goes back to what Mr. Dix was saying. It's how we are able to work together as a system. We communicate a lot, and that allows us to find out what a school needs. This was going to be a big transition year, and I think we're going to have big transition years going down the road in the next year, 2, and 3 when we move across the road into the new facility. But you have to communicate back and forth to these campuses as to what the demand is. We have to look at what the economy is telling us, what our local EDA is telling us about projections for job growth in the future, because we have to sort of Career Tech has to line up so that you're working 4, 5, 10 years down the road to produce the workers that are needed tomorrow, not yesterday and today, but tomorrow. So it's going to take a team effort to do that, and working with not only the school system but the local players in Jackson County and North Alabama. We're blessed to be in an area that is growing economically. You look over into the western part of the state, there's going to be jobs that before this even happened, there were going to be jobs that there was not going to be enough workers to fill those jobs. So we've got to look at training and producing a graduate that has a skill base to get a job and stay in North Alabama.
Well, we're looking forward to it in this fall when you come back. I'm sure you can bring some different folks to talk about different things they're having, maybe even some students, and looking forward to getting back to some type of normalcy for sure. Epcot, who, in the lack of a better word, is just like in Disney World, is all kinds of different worlds.
It is.
You get to tour the whole world, and you get to look at all the different. One more question I want to ask you specifically about Epcot and all the different things. These are what we would call electives, or each high school required to do so many of them?
It can be electives. It can be a credential earner. I think of it more of a way of thinking about earning a credential. So the whole mindset of a kid going through school for 13 years and getting a diploma is just not enough anymore. You've got to earn a credential. So there's many ways you can do it, but one way to do that would be through a Career Tech endorsement, learning a skill, passing a CNA exam, passing a welding certification, getting a license or a credential or a badge. And so, yes, it can be an elective, and I think a lot of times we think of ag and family and consumer sciences as elective classes. But if you started thinking about it more of a way to earn a credential, whether you get that mindset as a 5th grader, knowing that I want to learn how to, we have a generation of game players, and so they all understand that in a game, the more levels they can level up or the more skills they can acquire and get a badge, they can earn a higher score. Well, that's the same thing in life, and we want these students to be able to think of Career Tech on any level of Career Tech or any level of taking an academic or any class. How is that going to help me acquire a skill or get a badge or earn a credential, because that credential is going to go out and get you a job. It's going to get you leveled up in a job to get more money, and it's going to be almost the equivalent of going to school, what I thought of going to school for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree. Well, what are you going to do with that? These credentials are going to give you specific skills to be able to accomplish specific requirements for a job that an employer is going to look for.
Very well said. And we'll take a break because I think you're going to be up here and introduce someone that is now going to be sitting in your former seat.
That's correct.
All right, we're going to take a break. You're watching a very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools, and we'll take a break and we'll have more coming up.
He healed the deaf, the blind, the crippled, and the paralyzed. But when he told someone he just healed that their sins were forgiven, many in the crowd reacted, saying, "Who but God can forgive sin?" Who, indeed? At Easter 2020, we recall his words and his works as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
This Easter message brought to you by Robin Rogers and family. Robin Rogers, attorney at law on the courthouse square, stopping to say, Happy Easter, everyone, from Robin Rogers, attorney at law.
Georgia Northwestern Technical College is now accepting applications for classes. We offer programs in business, health, industrial, and public service at 6 campus locations with financial aid options as well. Take day, evening, or online classes to get your degree, diploma, or certificate. Apply now. Drop by one of our campuses today or check us out at gntc.edu. Georgia Northwestern Technical College.
Landers McLarty Ford of Fort Payne is your destination for quality automobile service. Landers McLarty is second to none when it comes to service on your vehicle. You can drop by and see us on Glen Boulevard Southwest in Fort Payne. Call our service department at 256-845-1101 or schedule an appointment online at LandersMcLartyFordFortPayne.com. So whether you drive a Ford or any other make of car, SUV, or truck, see our ASE certified and Ford factory trained technicians today at Landers McLarty Ford in Fort Payne.
When you need a licensed plumber, call Stacy Ledwell and the staff at Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Mr. Reuter provides your home or business with advanced solutions using high-tech equipment. Our commitment to customer satisfaction shines through in our personalized service. When you schedule an appointment, our professionals will dedicate time to explain the work that has to be done. Our staff will give you upfront pricing, so you'll know exactly what's involved before any work begins. We even pump septic tanks and do new construction on houses. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, Mr. Reuter in Scottsboro. Call Stacy Ledwell today to set up an appointment at 256-574-4710. Rising Fawn Hardware is your place for all your gardening needs. Seeds, onion sets, cabbage, strawberry plants, and more. A complete line of home hardware items, too. Everything for the house, including plumbing, hardware, and metal roofs. Plus, Rising Fawn Hardware has everything you need for your livestock, including name brands like Nutria, Tucker, and Faithway. Always with a hometown atmosphere, it's Rising Fawn Hardware. 4300 Highway 11 South in Rising Fawn. Open 8 in the morning till 6 at night, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 8 to noon on Wednesday. Even open on Saturday from 8 until 4. Rising Fawn Hardware.
The Big Jet Fly. We're caught in a trap. One of these nights, love will keep us together. In the name of love. Ours is our breath. Ours. Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? The Big Jet Fly. WFI.
And welcome back to a very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools. We are talking with now the new principal of Skyline. And introduce yourself.
My name's Drew McNutt. This is an honor to be here today and kind of get our word out and our message out, and it's just thank you for having us.
Oh, well, we definitely thank you for coming in. It's a different time coming in to be normally we would be doing this show, and there may be some students here, and but obviously it's a different time, a struggling time. We'll all get through this. Now, you have this past year been the assistant principal at North Sand Mountain. I know a lot of folks on Sand Mountain would from Brighton, Higdon, and that area. So you're really no stranger to Jackson County.
I'm not. No, sir. I grew up in Jackson County. Spent 1 year at Jefferson County down in Birmingham, first year teaching, and so really familiar with Jackson County, with that territory. And my year at not even really a full year at North Sand Mountain, absolutely loved it. Loved the people there, the faculty. Loved working with Mr. Roden and working alongside such a great group of people. And so just getting the opportunity to go to Skyline, and really excited about that opportunity.
I have to take a quick story, and I've told it on this program before, but it's been a long time. I think Mr. Dukes was probably on here when I told it. But the first time I ever went to Skyline, there's a store there, and I was over there taking some video footage of one of the primary health care centers that they have in Jackson County all over. And then I was going around to all of them. And I remember going into the store, and one thing that struck me, and I grew up here, one thing that struck me when I went into the convenience store and I came back out, they treated me like I had lived there for 30 years.
That's right.
I remember that, and I've never forgot it.
Well, that's just the type of people that we have at Skyline. The community is just incredible. It's a very close-knit community. They welcome people in with open arms, and that's the way it's been for me. In this short period of time, and I haven't actually got to get out and meet a lot of the community yet like I've wanted to because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic, but as that relaxes and as we can get out and meet the community, and really excited about that, and some very special people there.
Tell me something about a parade. Tell me about the parade.
We did. It was and we have to brag on the faculty because it was the faculty that put this together. And so basically they said, "Hey, are you okay with this?" And I said, "Absolutely." So my wife and my son and I, we joined in, and we were part of the parade, and probably over the course of the parade throughout our communities, probably anywhere from 150 to 200 kids that were out there on the side of the road as we drove by, and roughly right around 50 faculty were involved in that parade, which probably about 95% of our faculty participated in it. And just seeing not just our students' faces light up, but their parents' faces light up, and our faculty's faces light up. And that's what we needed. That's what we all needed during this time, is we needed some good news. And that was the most normal thing that a lot of those kids got to see over the past few weeks, because this is something that's not typical. So normally we would be in school, and they would be able to see teachers' faces every day, and the teachers would be able to see the students' faces every day. But that's not how it is right now. And so we just went out and were creative. Our faculty was very creative in putting this together, and we absolutely had a great time.
Oh, absolutely. That's a neat thing to be able to get in the community. I mean, it's one thing to be able to look at a computer screen or your phone and talk with your teacher, but actually getting to visualize them, see them on the roadway coming through, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very, very special. And I think once we look back at this, and as we go several years down the road, that's what those students are going to remember. And not just the students, the teachers are going to remember that as well.
Oh, yeah, there'll be things, hopefully there's good things. They say as time passes, you forget about the really bad things and you focus on the good in history, and I'm hoping that we can remember the good times. Remember when we binge and watched all the Netflix programs and different things. But I do want to say, it is different when you have a school that's got multi-grades. Because you got to be the principal of the kindergarten, and the principal of the middle schooler, and the principal of the junior high schooler, and the high schooler.
Well, the good thing about that is, you get to see everything on a different platform. You get to go in, walk into a kindergarten teacher's room, and you get to see, most of the time, those elementary kids are going to come up and hug you and everything else. You may not get that in the high school with those older students. But then again, you see the rigor and all the challenges that are happening in the high school and the education level. So, that's the way it was at North Sand Mountain, and be able to be in a kindergarten room or a first grade room one time, and then walk to the middle school hall and then walk to the high school hall was a very, very, very positive side of the job. And the same thing with Skyline. We have our elementary building, and then we have our high school building. So we get to see all of those students every day. So in some schools, you don't get to see all of your students all the time. And so we have the luxury of being able to do that. and get to see different teaching styles. And you know, we don't have any feeder schools at Skyline, so we get our kids from kindergarten, pre-K, kindergarten, all the way up and get to see them graduate as students of Skyline High School.
How many teachers, and you may, that may be an unfair question, but how many teachers at Skyline have been there and seen their entire, the kindergarten or the first grade teacher now has seen the seniors graduate?
I know we have several. I know we have a handful of teachers that have been able to witness that.
Right.
We probably have some that have got that actually taught the parents of some of those younger kids as well. So, you know, and I know that's special because I know my parents both being educators, they would talk about all the time where they got the opportunity to teach some of the kids of parents that they had. And so that meant a lot, be able to see that. And I know that means a lot to those teachers. We have a wide range of faculty members from 25 to 30 years, you know, all the way down to first to second year teachers. So that's a luxury as well, because those younger faculty members can learn from the older faculty members and get a good feel for the community.
That's really important.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's growth, and as educators, if we're not growing daily, if we don't learn something new every day, then how effective are we going to be?
And I told you before we come on, many of you know I used to be was a paramedic for a great number of years, and we had a paramedic instructor that loved to, and he did it very jokingly, but and his paramedic number was like 285. And there was a 0 before it, so 285, if that tells you anything. But he loved to tell the new paramedics that he was instructing that the fact that I have backed up in an ambulance further than you've ever drove one forward.
That's right. That's
so
right.
That was, but I mean, you know, it is neat to have the longevity and the people that can mentor the teachers coming in.
It says a lot about the school. It says a lot about the community that people want to be a big part of the school and of the community and want to stay there. You know, some people have been there their entire career, if not taught anywhere else. That's special. And that's the type of atmosphere that's been created by Mr. Dukes when he was the principal there, Mr. Davidson when he was the principal there, and they set the foundation, and that will continue on with, you know, this time as we move forward. And people want to be a part of something special. They want to be a part of a special team. And as we work together and as we do work collectively throughout the county together as administrators and as supervisors and from the top down, then that's why we have been at the forefront of this distance learning, is we were prepared. And that started with the top with Mr. Dukes, and that led all the way down to our teachers of where basically we're not having the struggles that a lot of systems are having right now of trying to play catch up. We're actually ahead of the game, and that's been critical for our students.
Very good. Well, congratulations on your new leadership role there at the Skyline, and I know this fall when we have you back on the program, you'll have a lot of things to talk about.
That's right. I appreciate that. You know, really ready to, you know, I would say get started, but we're already started.
That's
it's
right.
kind of there's no playbook for it right now, but we will. We will get through this, and we'll see you in the fall, and we'll have a lot of our great students with us.
Sounds good. We're going to take another break. I'm going to be rejoined by Jackson County School Superintendent Kevin Dukes. We're going to talk a little bit about things that if you've just tuned in halfway through the program, we'll go over a couple of things that we talked about at the beginning and maybe add something else. But stay with us. A very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools will continue after this.
Jesus was crucified between two thieves. Both taunted him at first, but one repented and asked, "Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And at Easter 2020, we recall a repentant sinner and a forgiving Savior as we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
This Easter message brought to you by your State Senator Jeff Mullison family, focusing in on the positive, the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Happy Easter, everyone.
The power to work. That's what you get with genuine Husqvarna products. And now through the Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engines, you also have the power to get free Husqvarna Power products. Purchase a Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower and get a free backpack blower, plus a free string trimmer. Then you'll be ready to take on the great outdoors with the power of Husqvarna. The Husqvarna Fleet Program at York Small Engine is the clear choice for great value and superior performance. See the full line of quality Husqvarna products at York Small Engines, located on Highway 41 in Jasper. Stop in and see the new Husqvarna Fleet packages, or give them a call at 942-3965. With your new Husqvarna 52-inch Z400 Series zero-turn mower, you'll get a free backpack blower and free string trimmer. For a limited time, get no down payment and 0% financing, available up to 48 months. See dealer for details. Husqvarna, the power to get it done.
At Comfort Gallery in Kimball, you can truly shop for any piece of furniture from any of our manufacturers. Drop in today and use our in-store kiosk. It's over 40 inches of full color, completely interactive for ease of use. And yes, you can shop all of our manufacturers for virtually any piece you may be looking for. Come to Comfort Gallery in Kimball to find exactly what you need for your home using our kiosk to shop from all of our manufacturers. Free delivery and setup, 1 year free layaway, and 6 and 12 months same as cash available at Comfort Gallery, 780 Main Street, Kimball, Tennessee. Spring is just around the corner, and your lawn care and decisions about lawn care are soon to be on the horizon. Let me tell you about a good, dependable lawn care service that's ready to provide you honest, dependable lawn care and at a reasonable price. Holman's Lawn Care is ready to maintain your yard this spring. Call Denny Holman at 423-280-6495. Denny will be happy to provide you references and a free estimate. From residential to commercial, each lawn will be done with their personal commitment. Don't put your lawn care decision off any longer. Call Holman's Lawn Care, 423-280-6495.
Very special edition of This Week in Jackson County Schools. It is a special time, and we've got, of course, back with us Superintendent of Schools in Jackson County, Mr. Kevin Dukes. And I was telling the new principal there at Skyline, the first time I met you, you were actually principal at Skyline.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and,
sir.
I remember our first Jackson County tournament, you were hosting it, and when we started doing all the games for television. So that was our first time of.
Seems like yesterday.
Oh, it does. And then at another time, I can't remember how many years ago.
Exactly.
It's been a long time. It seems like everything is going to run just really smooth.
It is. It's something like what I talked about earlier. We need to keep it simple. We don't need to overthink this thing. We need to let families enjoy family time and focus on families and again, focus on their well-being and safety during this time. Again, students, faculty members, everything. And so that's really important to us.
So next week, what is the date again when you're either going to start by virtually getting all the assignments or getting a packet mailed to you or picked up or whatever? What day is that?
Okay, that is Monday, April the 13th. The teachers should have already started getting in touch with all their students a couple weeks. If you know of a neighbor or someone and you're concerned about, call your school. Let them know. You know, if your children have friends that you hadn't heard from, just let us know. I mean, we feel good about them, but we want to check on them and we want to know if they've got food. These packets will start next Monday. Teachers are working on them this week, April the 13th, and it'll go through May, and school will be out at regular time in May, and we will at some point have high school graduations for our seniors.
Well, I think that's very important. So if you've got a school calendar at home, and I don't know if you've got any more days between the 13th of April and the end of the school year that is teacher in service or whatever where students wouldn't normally be there, but those would still apply. So it's just whatever the calendar says.
Correct. And each school's hours are flexible. They'll just need to get in touch with their school principal, assistant principal, and like I said, they can get in touch with them through email, through telephone. A lot of them are on social media, and also, as I stated earlier, our folks are incredible, doing some incredible things out there with their students, and it's a good sight to see some of it.
Is there on the school site or on the countywide website a place where it's got a listing of all of the Wi-Fi places? Do you know if that's out there yet?
I don't know if it's on there yet, but now I have shared it on our Facebook page, Jackson County Schools Facebook page. My one of my pages. So it is out there, and we've sent it to all of our employees, and I know the newspaper had posted something today about it. So word's getting out there, and we
You do a lot of tweeting.
it may be on our website now, because again, our IT guys are great.
And you do a lot of tweeting too.
Yes, I do. I do.
That's something we didn't know what was a few years ago either.
But how, during a time like this, social media is a good thing. Social media is not a good thing when people are bashing everybody and complaining, but for the most part, that's one thing you see now. People are complimentary of each other now, and people are being kind, and people are being nice through this time. Not everybody, but for the most part, and that means a lot.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. So it looks like everything, the 13th of April, you're going to get all your information. You can work out it at home. They've set aside sites all over the county that has free Wi-Fi for students to be able to do their work if you don't have it at home. Hope that you do, but if you don't, if you can't tether your phone to your tablet or your computer or whatever, there's ways to be able to pull into a parking lot at the school and do your work.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's good. And again, we need to announce if a senior was in good standing and everything was good, they are now graduated.
They are now graduated. We will have a ceremony at a date to be determined, but they are finished. And again, it's sad for those students. They deserve it. They deserve the best. It's tough times.
Absolutely. And there's so many creative ways. One thing that I've seen through this whole process and across this great nation that we live in, there's so many innovative ways that people have thought about doing things that you would have never thought of.
Well, that's one thing we keep talking about: creativity, flexibility, and collaboration, communication. Those things right there we've got to do, and our folks are top-notch at doing it. And when I say our folks, Jackson County, period.
Absolutely.
Everybody involved.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you very much, and congratulations to both of these new principals.
Great guys.
One at Epcot and Skyline. Look forward to working with them here on this program, of course. And I think the Epcot Center is probably going to explode once students get back and realize how many essential businesses that they teach.
That is fact, and our tech school, Epcot, has been a prize for Jackson County. It's been kind of a hidden gem at times, but it is top notch, and I'm looking forward to Mr. Davidson leading that charge as we go forward.
Absolutely. We thank you as always for coming on. You usually start the year off and kind of give an idea. So I guess this being a special edition, well, and of course, if there anything changes throughout between now and May, you'll be back. And we'll have you back on, or we'll come over there. We'll get the message out some way. But, I can't see a lot changing between now and the end of the school year.
I can't. Not a lot of changes. There could be for some employees, depending on the stay-at-home shelter, if it's lifted. But, again, the key thing I ask folks, just be patient. Just be patient. Be patient, and we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together.
Absolutely. We thank you at home watching, and of course this is going to be, I will give you a little programming note. You're watching it now. We'll play it several times for the remainder of this week on KWN TV. It's also going to be available at ITV Chattanooga, and you may not be aware of this. You may be watching for the first time, but ITV Chattanooga is now available on your Roku, your Apple TV, your Fire Stick, Fire TV as some call it, your smart TVs. It's ITV Chattanooga. That's the mainframe, if you will. Just a programming note, this will be on there on demand, so you can watch it anytime. So you may have a friend tomorrow that said, hey, you didn't get to see the new principal at Skyline. He's going to be on there, of course, the superintendent. But all of the sporting events that you're seeing this week, the Jackson County basketball tournament, the DeKalb County basketball tournament, they're all on demand too. So you can binge watch high school basketball from February, of course, from DeKalb and Jackson County. But that's ITV Chattanooga. So download it on your Roku and Fire TV. Everybody seems to have one of those, or at least I'm getting more and more tell me that they got them.
And I just want to say thank you for everything you do for Jackson County schools and allowing our schools to come on to your show each week and to get our information and our good things out to people and contacting me about getting our plan out. we appreciate that. That means a lot to the folks of Jackson
Well,
County.
we appreciate
I'll speak
you,
for 'em.
and I will say the same thing back. You have always been open and ready to do anything that we've asked as far as, send this person, let's do a show. You've been wide open and wanting to promote Jackson County and the schools. So that's
I appreciate that.
We'll say that, as they say, right back at you.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
thank you very much for watching, and we will return in the fall for This Week in Jackson County Schools. But unless need be, just follow the schedule and listen to the teachers and learn great at home. And we'll see you again on This Week in Jackson County Schools.